Start in a seated position. And just start by focusing on the breath. Taking big inhales through the nose. Filling up the lungs, filling up the belly. And then slowly exhaling through the mouth. The goal is to inhale for around 5 seconds. Hold at the top for about 5 seconds. And then exhaling for 7. Slowing the breathing, slowing the heart rate, and bringing your attention to the here and the now. Now that we've slowed our breath, we're going to start to add the arms. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, pushing down. Inhaling again, reaching up. Exhaling, pushing down. Inhaling. As we exhale, we're going to bring one arm in front, one arm behind, and gently gazing over the back shoulder. As you inhale, try lengthening through the spine. And as you exhale, try twisting through the torso just a little further. Inhaling again, lengthening through the spine. Exhaling, twist. Coming back to center, we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Inhaling. Arms come up overhead, reaching through the torso. Exhaling, other arm comes in front, gazing over the opposite shoulder. As you inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, twist a little further in the torso. Coming back to center, we're going to come to our hands and our knees. Hands are going to be directly underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to inhale, bringing the spine up towards the ceiling, tuck the chin in. And as you exhale, allow the belly to relax to the floor, lifting the chin and lifting the chest. Moving with your own breath, inhale, lifting up, allowing the head to relax. And exhaling, allow the belly to fall. 2 more times. And last one here. Coming to a neutral spine. We're going to take the hands forward and push the hips forward so we have a bent knee plank. You're going to push back into child's pose, keeping the hands forward. As you inhale, coming to a bent knee plank.
moving through those tube movements, exhaling, coming to child's pose, reaching forward nice and long with the arms. Inhaling, coming to that bent arm plank. Warming up through the entire body here. Really trying to lengthen through that upper back and the shoulders. One more time. Tucking the toes under, we're going to push our hips up into downward facing dog. Allow the head to relax. And we're just going to walk the heels down, warming up through the back sides of the legs. In downward facing dog, we're pushing away from the hands and bringing the shoulders back. Allowing the head to relax down. Feeling that lengthening through the hamstrings, calves. And if that feels okay, we can start to push both heels gently down towards the ground. We can also take a deep knee bend and work between that deep knee bend and then trying to work the heels down towards the floor. If you have really tight hamstrings, this is a great stretch to do. And anytime you have tight hamstrings, it's usually means that you might have some lower back issues as well. So it's really important to make sure we focus on strengthening the hamstrings, but also at the same time finding mobility and flexibility in those muscles too. Last time, we're going to come forward into plank position. Slowly lowering down. If we need to, we can come down to the knees as well. All the way down to the mat and lifting up into a baby cobra. Chin is gently tucked in. Lowering back down, you're going to push all the way back up into downward facing dog. And moving through those movements with your breath. So inhaling into plank. Slowly lowering, exhale. Coming up into baby cobra, or you can go to full upward facing dog. And then tuck the toes back under, push away into downward facing dog. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, push back. Walking the feet all the way up to the hands. We're going to hang out here in forward fold. Allow the head to relax down. You can stay here with hands on the floor. You can bring the fingers underneath the toes. You can also grab the forearms. Just again, feeling that lengthening through the back side of the legs. Bring the hands back down to the floor. We're going to inhale, swan dive up. So hands come by the sides of the body, up overhead, and release. Coming into a warrior pose, you're going to take your feet nice and wide. The right foot, you're going to take your toes and face it towards the top end of the mat. Left foot, you're going to face your toes forward. You want your right knee to be right over the ankle. Arms come up right at shoulders. Roll the shoulder blades down and back. And lengthening the hands towards both directions. We're going to gaze over the right fingertips. Feeling that opening through the hip flexors here by squeezing the glutes and pushing the hips forward to really open up through the hips. We're going to take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, angle warrior pose. We're going to bring that forearm on the right side down towards the thigh. And then this top arm is reaching to make one long line from the fingertips all the way down to your toes. This forearm down here, we don't have much weight in the forearm. All of the work
work is hitting through the core, and we feel that big opening through that whole side body. Breathe. If that feels good, we can take that top arm around, coming around to the thighs. We really open up through the chest and the shoulder. Again, breathe here. Releasing that top arm. Take a nice deep big inhale. As you exhale, lifting up and shaking out the legs. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So taking the left toes to the front of the mat, or top of the mat, right toes forward. Bringing the arms right at the shoulders, roll the shoulders down and back. Nice deep inhale. Exhaling the warrior pose. Making sure you can lift that forearm up off of the thigh. If that feels good, bring that top arm around, open up through the chest and the shoulder. Breathe. Go ahead and release that top arm, lifting back up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, coming back to warrior two. Straighten the leg, bring the toes facing forward, and shake it out. Awesome work. For this next stretch, you will need a towel, or you can also use a band. We're gonna come down to the floor. We have several different leg stretches we'll do here. We're gonna take the towel and put underneath the foot, holding on with both arms. You can either extend that opposite leg, or you can keep it bent. We're going to flex the foot and then just slowly bring that foot as far over the chest as you're able. Keeping both shoulders relaxed into the floor, hips relaxed into the floor. Breathe. We're going to go about 3 to 4 breaths. And then you can start to allow the foot to come towards the outside of the body, holding on to the band or the towel, feeling the stretch to the inner thigh. Again, both shoulders and both hips stay on the floor. And about 3 to 4 breaths. Last breath here. Coming up back to the center. We're going to come across the body. I'm going to stretch to the outside of the hips now. Take that opposite arm, reaching out towards the side. Keeping both shoulders on the floor. It's okay if that one hip lifts up off of the ground at this point. About 2 more breaths here. Coming back to center and switching to the other leg. Starting off with the hamstrings, either bent knee or straighten that opposite leg out, flexing the foot and bringing that foot as much as you can over the chest.
this is too intense, you can always keep a slight bend in the knee. One more breath here. Slowly releasing that foot to the outside of the body. Getting that stretch to the inner thigh. Nice deep breaths. Last breath here. Bringing that foot back to center, crossing over the body, and stretching through the outside of the hip now. One more breath here. And bringing that foot in and coming to a seated position.
Finishing the class off today, we're just gonna take a couple of deep breaths in our seated position. Nice deep inhale, reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, push away. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, push away. One more time. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky, lengthening through the spine, through the rib cage. And exhale, push away. Thank you so much for joining me in our yoga stretching section. Don't forget to include this in your routine throughout the week to keep you long and limber.